What's up, y'all? I'm back once again with another vlog video to cap off the week here. Alright, so for this video today, for tonight actually, it's about how to set your standards. I'm talking about in life, whether you talking to someone, whether you watch a movie, whether you watch TV, whether you listen to music, whether you're reading a book, anything along those lines of that. You gotta know when to set your expectations, your standards, as to what's the criteria that you're looking for. That's pretty much what it comes down to. What's your criteria for what you like to see, what you like to hear? And when it comes down to it, you know, there's a thing of, there's a thing about how sometimes you can't be setting your bar too high for what you expect to see, what you expect to hear. Because if you do that, if you end up doing that, then you're going to end up disappointed by the end result. Because then if it's not what you wanted, then you have to lower them the next time you try to have an interest in something. Or at least if you're gonna check it out, you're curious. Even though you might not be interested in it like that, you're curious. You're curious as to, well, is there a chance that this could grow on me, or I'm just gonna dismiss it completely? You know, that I've had those situations too. I've had those things going on for me as well. We all do. And what comes with standards and expectations is like, what we want is what we want, and we have to expect that not everything we want we gonna get. We have to accept the fact that sometimes not everything is gonna happen the way we thought it was gonna happen. Not everything is gonna plan out the way we expect it to. Like I said, if we was gonna set that bar too high, then especially if we're expecting much, like so much of what we thought was gonna be, and it ends up being a disappointment, it's only because, you know, it's like we're setting ourselves up to dislike something immediately the second it does not go our way, the way we envisioned it in our head. Now, I'm the kind of person where I do have my moments with that, when I could set a bar so high that I'm expected for something to be great. If not good, then great. If not great, then excellent. I've always been setting my bar high for something to be as good as I thought it would be. I've had those moments. There are times when I was let down, because after coming off of the hype off of the last thing, you expect for something to take place on the next one, the next installment. You expect for it to be like what the previous project was. Next thing you know, if you're disappointed by it, then it's only because you wanted so much out of this to basically top off what you got previously. There are upsides to that. There are upsides to that. And the upsides is that if it really does happen, then that's because you are able to see the potential that it has. Whatever project it is that's ready for release, if you can see that potential, then you know that once you see it, once you hear it, if it's what you expected and more, you're going to get a kick out of that. Why? Because that's what you wanted out of the whole thing. That's all you wanted out of the whole thing. Sometimes there are upsides to setting your bar high, because after coming off of the previous joint, you want the next one to be as good as the previous or top it, right? We all have our moments with that. We all do. We all expect something to be better than the last. Sometimes that doesn't always happen. That's where the downside comes in. Just as I said, if you set it too high, you're going to be disappointed by the end result if it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be. Because it's easy to say most of the time that happens, but yeah, it's kind of like that, where it's too good to be true. Just when you thought that it might be good, or great, or even excellent, it doesn't turn out to be like that. It's either going to be okay, or disappointing, or straight up hated. Right? See, if you're going to be hating something, there's got to be a reason why. It's not just for the sake of saying it. Okay? It's not just about saying it. You got to have a good reason behind that. Back it up. Whatever it is that you feel about anything whatsoever, back it up. Don't say it just for saying it. Otherwise, this is like a mindless drone situation. You're just following behind the person who caused that situation to happen, or who caused that chain reaction to happen. Just because one person hate on something, just because they feel like it, just because they want to, then you start hopping on the bandwagon for all of that. Hell no. Don't fall for that shit. Excuse my language. But don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Because you know better than that. You know better than to follow behind the person who's just gonna do it just because. Nah. If you're gonna do it or say it, you gotta have a reason behind it. Especially if there's a good reason behind it. Because if there's not, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. There's no reason behind what you're doing, you're in trouble. That's it. That's the thing about setting your standards. It's how you feel. What you think is going to turn out to be. What outcome can you possibly get out of whatever it is that you're interested in? Whatever it is that you're looking into. Because at first I had my struggles with that. I did. At first I had my struggles with that. But over time, as I got older, I started to realize, well, yeah, in life I have to think for myself. I can't just let anybody else think for me. We all can't have that. We all got to think on our own 2 feet. What we think of the best case or the worst case scenario that's going to happen, that's going to take place. So that's the thing when it comes to setting standards. If you're going to set the bar too high and you end up disappointed, that's only because you should have went in there lower. You should have went in there lower. Because then you won't be as disappointed as you felt like you was going to be when you set it high. See, that's the thing about low expectations as well. If you're going to set your bar low, that, like I said, that's only because if you're somewhat interested or you're just curious, but you're not really into it like that, but you're taking a slight interest in it, or you're just curious about it, see if it fits for the criteria that you want it to be. Because going in there with low expectations, you won't be as disappointed as you setting the bar high. You set it too high, that's it. If it's disappointing for you, if it's just okay, or you straight up hate it, and you gotta have a good reason behind that, then next time, don't set it too high. Keep it moderate or keep it low. Sometimes keeping it moderate, it's not too high, it's not too low. Keeping it moderate, it does come into the picture as well. If you're interested in it, it's because you want for it to be good, but you don't want to set it too high just so you could be disappointed later and you start going off on rants about it so much that you just can't help it. You know? Sometimes the moderate comes into the picture. It does happen. So, anything that you're looking into, just remember, if you have a clear mind on what you're seeing, what you're watching, what you're hearing, if you got a clear mindset on what your criteria is on everything that's going on out here, you are entitled to your own opinion just like I am. You have a say-so just like I am. Well, just like I do. You got your own mind just like I do. We all got to be able to pitch in and say what we feel. Talk about how we feel and don't follow behind someone else just because they said it. Nah, it's what you think. It's where your mind is at. Don't have anyone else make up the decision for you. Well, don't allow anyone to make the decision for you. Because if you do that, then you're not necessarily thinking for yourself. You don't have your own opinion. You only got one just because someone else did. You only got one just because you're following behind them. You can't be doing that to yourself. Otherwise, people are going to look at you like, really? The only reason this person is doing this because this person right here is doing it already? Or saying it already? People are going to be quick to judge. And if you end up doing that, you might as well expect that to happen. Don't be surprised if that happens to you and you allowed the situation to take place the way it does. People are going to say something. People talk. That's how it works in this world. People are going to say something. If those people are going to be that quick to judge, prepare yourself for that. Because the next time, if you end up doing that again, it's going to be a pattern they're going to pick up on. Make up your own mind. If you're going to talk to people about it, let them know how you feel. If you're able to agree on something what the other person said, then okay. That's because they got a reason behind it. And if you got a reason behind that, at least to back it up, fine. So when it comes to standards, when it comes to expectations, sometimes you can set it high and it ends up being what you expect it to be. I've had my moments with that. I did. It's because you're able to see the potential in there. If you don't see it, don't set that bar too high. If you don't see that kind of potential, don't set it too high. Do not set it too high. If you feel like that there's going to be something that's going to disappoint you, or the entire thing is going to disappoint you, don't set it too high. Don't do that. But if you're trying to get a feel of what that's supposed to be like, even though you're not really interested in it like that, you're just curious, then yeah, don't set it too high. If you know it has potential, then yeah, there's a chance you're gonna set it high. But if you're gonna set it high, you're in the red zone. Because if it ends up being disappointing for you, then that's how you feel about it. Not everybody is gonna think like you. Okay, everybody got their say-so and how they feel on something. Agree to disagree scenario. Once again, people, agree to disagree. That's going to happen. But if you're going to be able to talk to people about that and have that scenario take place, civilized conversation with everything, alright, cool. Then you're good. You're set. You're able to talk about anything. Even when you can actually agree with the person or people about whatever topic it is that you bring up. Just got to have a good enough reason to back that up, or at least to add to the conversation. Otherwise, you're just saying it out in the open and you look ridiculous. Don't do that to yourself. But just know, before you end up talking to people about it, whatever it is, listen to it for yourself. See it for yourself. See how you feel about it. And when you have that opportunity to talk to someone about that, the subject, the topic at hand, when you're ready to talk to somebody about it and you're able to have a civilized conversation about it, then cool. You good. You set. Standards are standards, people. Don't just base yours on everyone else's just because. It's up to you. It's up to you, just like it's up to me to be able to do these things. You either got them high, which you can't do that all the time. But if you know there's potential in there, then yeah, there's a chance you will do that. Set it low to be safe. So when you listen to it, when you see it, then maybe your thoughts, your opinion might change over time. You never know. But if you're going to keep it moderate, because sometimes that comes into the picture as well. If you're going to keep it moderate, you don't have that high of an interest, but you are interested. But you're also trying to play it safe. Just so you can get a feel of what it is. And you'll know exactly how you feel once it's done. That's all you got to do. That's all I've been doing. And I hope you guys pretty much got the gist of what I'm talking about here. Because like I said, we all have this situation. We all have this scenario play out for ourselves. We all do. We just have to think on our own 2 feet. We got our own minds. We're not mindless drones. We're not going to do that to ourselves. As individuals, as a community, well, communities, if we all can agree on something, cool, we can. If we all agree to disagree, then cool. Let's respect that. Alright? Not everybody's going to agree with everything. We got to respect that. So when we set our standards, our expectations, we got to know where to set them. We can't expect for them to be high all the time. Sometimes it's safe to do low or at least moderate. But that's it. It's all a matter of being able to understand how you feel about it before you discuss it with other people. So when you do get a chance to discuss it with other people, you get the insight as to how they feel about it. Then they get the insight as to what you feel about it. Simple. That's all it takes. So, with that being said, please let me know in the comments section down below. For only y'all who gets a chance to see this video, like, share, subscribe, and let people know about this, alright? Be sure to click the bell for anything that I post up on my channel. Well, for everything that I post up on my channel, to be exact. Be notified, people. Be notified. Let people know about it, alright? And check out all the social media that I use in the description box down below. As usual. Trying to spread the word here, people. But it's also up to you to let them know what's going on with everything here. You know, me being honest about everything that I'm discussing with you guys, even through my poems and soon the music and everything. Alright? Keep a lookout for everything that I'm gonna post up on this channel, man, because after my little break, I'm trying to get back on it. But feel free to let me know what you think of this topic right here and the previous one that I did yesterday. Let me know, y'all. Let me know. And feel free to let me know on what you got going on with y'all YouTube channels, on y'all social media, so I can stay in touch with y'all. I do the best I can to do that because I be busy. Y'all. I try the best I can. I do the best I can to keep up with everything y'all doing. Okay? I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best, y'all. So, without further ado, I'm about to end this video. This is Blue Flames the Poet, y'all. And I'm out.